Yo, so what's up everyone? We got a slightly different recording setup just for the intro to this video. We're chilling as you know, as we do. And real quick, the last video actually was too big. I had to break into two different parts. It was actually too big to render as one for whatever reason. Vegas kept having a bit of a conniption over it. So the previous one was the Sony Part 1, which had the PS2, PS3 and PSP. And this is going to be Sony Part 2, which is PS4, and, well, there's no games on PS5, so it ain't any of that. But anyway, this is it for this one here, the Part 2 of the Sony one, and then just check out whatever's next, which, of course, is the final one, which is the PC version. Now, this next one we're going to have to do a little bit differently, because, well, hopefully I remember... And I see it in the footage when I'm reviewing this again, and I will splice in a picture because I have the game case for this one actually in one of my frames, which I've mentioned in like other times and all before. So we will be missing out on that because it is a steelbook. But anyway, we have the Catherine Full Body Heart's Desire Premium Edition on the PS4. Now, we did stream this as one of our big games. I believe it was our one last year in 2023. And because of that, that's why it got its own frame. So on the inside, it is a relatively small edition, much smaller than the original Catherine Classic. We have the art book, which has table of contents and everything. We won't go huge throughout the whole thing, but big dresses, different Catherines, story, art, Joker. Is that a Steal Your Heart edition? Chick with the big hair. Main character dudes, Erica, who, for some reason, when you read like the lore and stuff like that and all that, people seem to think she used to be a dude, but who knows? What else we got on the inside? Not much other than that in here. We have Catherine Full Body soundtrack. It's probably only a limited sound selection. 21 tracks. Could be the full thing. Could be the full thing, but... And on the inside we also have a stray sheep. It is a Vincent stray sheep because it's got his underwear on. It's got his boxers on. So that is definitely him, and that is definitely... Well, I don't know if we should even touch that. Ooh. But anyway, that is Catherine Full Body. Cheaper and funkier collector's edition, Heart's Desire edition. Not as good as the cool and elaborate as the 360 Stray Sheep edition for the original game. But that's always the case, isn't it? Remember, 360 was when they were like actual love letters to games, and it was the last time they were, because, you know, you didn't really have a massive amount of collector's editions during the PS2 era and all of that. So it was when it was still for the enjoyment of the game and not just consume big, more expensive product. I hesitated to include this next one because I wasn't even sure if it counted as a collector's edition or a special edition, because it's just a collection of games. But then I realized it has an art book. So we have the Persona 3 Dancing in Moonlight and Persona 5 Dancing in Starlight Endless Night collection. It actually comes with a code for Persona 4 Dancing as well, the PS4 version, even though I have it on a Vita, but I've redeemed it on there too. So it comes with the funky Starbook, not even Steelbook, kind of art book-ish kind of thing, hard cover one with both discs in there, two separate games, and then it just has like a little mini kind of art book built inside of the whole thing too. So it's nothing crazy, nothing special, but one thing I will say is probably one of my, there's some cool, you know, dance numbers and all in like the videos, and there's some great stuff with the music is obviously great and all too. But check out the I think it's is it the Burn My Dread, like fucking Dostovi remix or something like that. It's kind of wild, but yeah, I mean, it's I got both platinums though. Now this next one has a bit of a special place in this video, so it's more fitting that this is the final one we're recording. So the reason for this is, one, the game turned out to be dirt anyway, but you know, we won't dwell on that as I keep adjusting this here. But this was the edition of, this was like the final So I'll give a bit of a thing. We'll have a disclaimer, an opener in the introduction to this video. Is I would always, whenever I wanted to buy a game, if I was any semi-interested in buying and I was deciding that I was getting this game, I would always get the biggest, most expensive collector's edition of the game possible. And this was the game that actually broke the camel's back. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. Once I got this collector's edition, obviously I've had several disappointments before this and all as well. But this was, while not the biggest disappointment one, that is reserved for something we recorded a minute ago that we just covered in there. This is the one that changed my rule. So no longer after this was I automatically going to buy the biggest and baddest collector's edition of any game I wanted, but now it's clearly on a case-by-case basis. But anyway, this one is the Ghost edition of Destiny 1. That's right, the Ghost edition. Now, if you know, you know, especially after, you know, all these years. Now, I haven't played anything from Destiny other than I got the original game, obviously. I believe this came with the first DLC. Is it the Dark Moon or something like that? The Dark something, the something moon maybe. And then I think I got the next one after that for free. And I think that was it. That's definitely the most. I believe I got the first one for free. Well, the first one included with this, and then I believe I got the next one for free, and that's the most I ever did. But we have Ghost, which more importantly in this one, the battery is probably long dead. Let's see if it's actually USB rechargeable. Thought it was regular batteries. I think it was motion activated. But yeah, it makes sense that the battery's completely dead. It's been off and in this for several years now. But anyway, the thing that's most funky about this is this was obviously voiced by Dinklebot at first, Peter Dinklage. That's why we call him Dinklebot. And then he was recast by Nolan North, probably because Dinklebot, Peter Dinklage being a real actor, sorry voice actors, cost so much more that they recast him as Nolan North and re-got all his lines. Which is kind of a shame, because then we had to lose things like, that wizard came from the moon. But we have the Destiny Steelbook. Nothing special about it, just has the game inside it and one or two codes for like DLC and stuff like that. On the inside here we have, this is just the instructions and USB charging cable for Ghost. Of course it was 2014 or something along those lines, so Sony being Sony and games consoles being way behind the times, didn't have USB-C. He has micro USB, like the PS4 controller admittedly, but you get the idea. We've got a nice another little, not the best made one, it's a bit loose and all as well. Oh, no wonder it's not a traditional book in that way. Yeah, so there's what I had. You had the expansion pass. So there's what House of Wolves and the Dark Blood. I knew it was Dark something or Moon something. I believe I got the next one after this for free because there was a place closing down. They were going out of business entirely and they were just selling off all their stock. But what they were doing was they had like almost no money off it. So like you could find a Destiny new edition for brand new €40 and they'd be selling it for like $37.99. So what I did is, because they were closing the next day, I opened a box, took a picture of the code, went home and redeemed it. Get fucking shreked, Extravision. We got some futuristic postcards of different planets and different places. Oh shit, I dropped one. We have, what is this? It's a letter, which is all Destiny shenanigans. We have a big, probably not a map. Oh no, it might be a solar system map. It is. Yeah, I believe it's the solar system map. I always hated the Destiny map, mind you. You know, the different one for different planets and all. It just annoyed the shit out of me. It felt such like a lazy cop-out and was just all over the place and not intuitive at all. Then you have the Arms and Armament book. It's slid in the back there, so I'm not going to take it out. It's an art book. It's got lots of different weapons, lots of different armor and stuff like that as well. And then, so we'll flip that over to the side so we can get through this. Lastly, in here, yeah, that doesn't come out. We have some, whatever this is, something G14 classified. We have an Ares 1 clothes patch. Whoever would put that on would be rife to ridicule. We have some type of astronaut picture and photo. We've got some cells. I don't know if you can see these. Yeah, I can hold them to the light so you can see them. So it shows like, it's probably, is it the Traveler, the Guardian, the Light, the Sphere, whatever it is. It's probably like when that showed up for the first time. And then we have, I mean, I know a lot of it takes place in like the Russian crash Cosmodrome stuff, but that was the Destiny Ghost Edition, the biggest and baddest one that finally broke the camel's back for me to break my always buy the biggest, baddest collector's editions. But that's it, everybody. That feels so good to finally have an end on this one in particular. I will do a little bit of a different outro just after this, but it really is freeing and all this as well to have all this one done. And I ended on this one specifically because this was the end of all of that. Even though I have bought collector's editions post this game, they've all been ones that I've actually wanted, be them disappointment or not, once I actually got them, but you get the idea. Anyway, this one is fitting. We will have a normal outro in just a second, but away we go. Because this video came from the moon. Now, if only you know how I was recording these and the order I was recording these and the last few that we just did. But this technically ties in before we can move away to something completely different. But we have what many people were clamoring for years and years. Final Fantasy Type 0. Final Fantasy Type 0 HD in this case. Everyone thought we would eventually get the PSP port, but no. They HDified it and brought it to the consoles and PC, of course, being the main one. So we have the PS4 version here. Of course, I have it on Steam. And of course, I actually have played it. Got several hours in, but just kind of got annoyed with it. So we have the Art of Class 0, 842. So this is going to be a nice little art book. I was never a huge fan of the class designs in this, as in like the school uniform designs. Although, you know, one or two of these girls can rock it for cheesy. And then, well, I mean, we got seven. Seven's looking like a little bit of a snack. So is Rem down here. Look at this guy. Now that's a baller, right? Dude's name is King, and he's rocking 2 guns. We got Queen. She might have it going on. We got a bunch of other stuff that we won't especially worry about as I fight off this exceptionally powerful sneeze. We have just an art card. Everyone knows that it's pretty much like the key art from the box and all. If you have the regular edition of the game, I believe this is the front of the box. In here also we have some more art cards. Can I open this without? No, it's still this little stuck one. We know how this has happened, and we know how this has affected us in the past. So despite all of this, I'm sorry lads, this one will not be opened. It also could prove to be a bit of a spoiler for the game, which we would not want. And there's a manga, Final Fantasy Type 0, a manga, and of course, because it's actual proper manga, it reads the correct way. The correct manga way, that is. And then we have the game itself, which is the steelbook for Type 0. It comes with the, oh god, the Episode Dusky demo, I remember that. The playable demo, holy shit, I forgot all about that. And then there's a soundtrack, Composer Selections soundtrack in there as well. I still have that demo. That Episode Dusky demo. I mean, I pronounce it Dusky simply because the AE is usually pronounced as a Y sound. So it makes sense to me, damn it. But that is Final Fantasy Type 0 HD on PS4. We can finally move on to something completely different. Now this next one is arguably another one of those disappointing, overpriced ones, but not for the same reason you'd think. Mainly because technically, I didn't realize this at the time, because of how it was marketed and advertised, but technically, this was just more of a bundle rather than a proper collector's edition. But anyway, we have the Final Fantasy VII Remake Deluxe Edition on PS4, but that's not the proper name for this edition. because the proper name for this edition, as it was sold, was the Final Fantasy VII Remake Soldier First Class Edition. That's right. But what it turns out it actually was just a bundle made by Square Enix on their website to sell a specific Play Arts Kai figure that's not available outside of this bundle. That, well, at least it wasn't at the time. I don't know if it is now. Probably not. And the regular deluxe edition that you could just buy separate as the deluxe edition. So yeah, that was kind of annoying in that way, especially because this was expensive. This was something like 250 or 300 euro, something along those lines. But anyway, firstly, we'll just start with what's in the deluxe edition before we get in to what's in this bad boy. So we have our Final Fantasy VII Deluxe Edition. It comes with like a double stuffed box. Looks like there's 3 things in here. Looks like it's a steel book, a game. Oh, there's a bit more actually. So we have a mini soundtrack with a bunch of different tracks on the back. There's the whole list. Of course, it's one of those things. In Final Fantasy VII Remake, there's probably only one song that's better than the original. It's the Airbuster theme, but everything else is it's just ain't it, dog. Then we also have the small deluxe edition art book. Given the amount of art and the amount of effort. Hey, it's the waifu Tifa. Oh, everybody, gonna break it down and keep it real for you. This is Ares. This is incorrect. Just so you know. This is Tifa. It is not Tifa. I doubt we're going to see Yuffie in this book because she probably hasn't been announced or planned at that point. Some other extra characters. We got Sephiroth. We got other Bay waifu Scarlet. But yeah, there's some important things that we have to mention in there too. So we got the Steelbook. We have Sephiroth standing there as possibly Midgar Burns. Nothing on the other side. The original kind of artwork thingy from it. This was big for like other regions and stuff because this is the cover of the PS1 version in America. It's not here. We have the vastly superior, artwork covers and all as well, which is just far more funky and more traditional through all the Final Fantasy stuff as well. Until it got to, I think it was Final Fantasy 15 over here. That's when it started getting a bit wonk. But I should say a bit wonky. I tried to say a bit wank and a bit wonky. Wank and wonky at the same time. All came to one word. You'll have to excuse me. It's 7:30 in the morning right now. I'm just deciding to film these whenever I get a chance, in whatever order it is. But yeah, it did have the reversible one where you could get that art. I think no, wait, I don't even have that option because I have a steelbook, which we'll cover at some other point in this video if we haven't already. Probably not, because let's try going chronologically. Final Fantasy VII, eventually will come Final Fantasy. It defeats the purpose. We're not talking about that anyway. So we have Final Fantasy VII Remake, the regular base game, which was very disappointing, as everybody knows. I hear much better things about Rebirth. I will eventually play Rebirth when it comes to PC, because I do not suffer. After the disappointment of this, both on a performance level, quality level, as well as just a game level, yeah, this was the ultimate game that I could not wait for the PC port of, and well, it bit me in the arse because it was shite in practically every way. I eventually replayed on PC. It was better, but it's still a bad game. It's just the best version of a bad game. But anyway, we're going to get this moved out of the way, and then we're going to work on this bad boy. Now, so we're going to work on this bad boy here. We're going to have to try do this because it is a fairly large packaging. It is a fairly large boy. So let's see if we can just slide it. I actually, the box is a little bit dusty. It's just been sitting there. With the current setup and all, I have this stuff in. It does not give me the optimal setup to set up all my figures and characters and statues and stuff, including this. I actually recently put away my Fran from Final Fantasy 12 Play Arts Kai, and I've still never even opened and set up the Cindy one from Final Fantasy 15. Yeah, this isn't even put together properly. Hopefully it doesn't fall apart as we get all this out. Let's... Okay, I feel like I can do this without hitting that. Yeah, we good. We good. Now, So we have Cloud and his bike, which is, depending on which way we want to look at it. So that's a better look at Cloudo. You can change all his different hands and all in there as well. And then you can get him on the bike underneath. Again, I'm not going to take this out. It's going to be an absolute disaster if we were to do that. And I think I see his Buster Sword at the back. We do. Which makes sense because, you know, he's riding along, dragging his Buster Sword everywhere. It's not the same bike. This is the one from Final Fantasy VII remake / OG, because from what I understand, the one in Advent Children is a different bike because that has a different layout, a different look, and maybe it was just this but modified, because it has space for all the swords that go in it, and he can like modify them all together to change his Buster Sword and all, which is just whack completely. I mean, if you're being a sequel to one of the greatest and most iconic games of all time, you want to kind of keep it as similar as possible. But anyway, that was this big waste of money for multiple reasons, because one, it wasn't a real edition like they kind of marketed it as, and just with the price and what it is, I haven't been able to, I mean, can you really say enjoy it, because it's just a figure or a statue? But yeah, between the quality of the game and this, yeah, that's up there. We'll get to my other one. There's two others off the top of my head that are big disappointment collector's editions. One of them has already been recorded and I've mentioned in its respective video. This is probably another, and we still have two more. One is an Xbox 360 game and the other is a PS4 game. And even if we go, now that I think about it, if we go alphabetically and I edit these in the right order, we would have already seen it, because it's a PS4 game and it comes alphabetically before F. This is another one. It's just a quick little Steelbook limited edition, which is basically a re-release of something we had on a different platform. Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster limited edition for PS4. It's just a sleeve with an art book, or art in bold and emblazoned Steelbook. Looks like we got Yuna on one side and we got Dancer Yuna on the other. So this would be obviously Summoner Yuna. Let's try to get it without the reflection. This would be Summoner Yuna from 10 and Dancer Yuna from the other one. But yeah, it's nothing huge to talk about with that one. It's pretty basic, standard stuff. Now, as much as I always wanted to go and get the Judge edition of the following game, I just couldn't justify it for a game I didn't really care about that much. But we have Final Fantasy 12, I was going to say 14, limited Steelbook edition for the Zodiac Age. But it's what you'd expect from the usual Square Enix limited editions of the time. It's not like the more modern ones, which had those weird double-sized boxes with pretty much nothing else. But we have Final Fantasy 12, Zodiac Age edition, or International edition, Zodiac edition, whatever you want to call it, with a bunch of art on one side for some of the characters, and, well, boring old name and whatnot on the back, and that's pretty much it. And then, of course, you've got your DLC, which I've already redeemed and all too. It's just for the background and the mosaic and all that stuff, but I can't even remember what it's for. I just downloaded it, installed it, and never actually used it. But there's the, yeah, the other Final Fantasy 12 Zodiac Edition Steelbook. Let's hope for some positive progress this time. We're gonna, well, we can judge how this one is anyway, throughout the thing or whatnot. But we have the PS4 Final Fantasy 15 Ultimate Collector's Edition. Not just the regular Collector's Edition. Not the limited edition, the Steelbook edition, the deluxe edition. We have the Ultimate Collector's Edition. This is for the big boys. This is where the big boys play. This is what we do. This is so big and awkward. I'm actually going to have to stand up and do this. And hopefully see what we have in here. We can move some stuff around if needed, which it looks like we're going to need to. Yeah, looks like this is getting turned upside down right off the bat. yeah, the other box just goes flying as I do all that. Okay. It's a box in a box. It's like exhibit, yo dog. Or you got a box in a box, see a box by your box. It looks like it's opening this way. Have the logo and all on the front. Oh, it opens a really weird way. Okay, that's a funky one. We have some fancy art cards, postcards actually, but I will say Final Fantasy 15 supports, I think it's Ansel. Yeah, it's NVIDIA Ansel, which allows you to go and get really cool screenshots that I did the entirety of playing the game. We'll worry about whatever else is in there now in a second. Or will we? No, there we go. Just so we can get it to close. Which way does this open? Right. Oh, this opens in a real strange way. We have a big designer box with some classic Final Fantasy art all up on it. It's actually really difficult to discern which is which in this one. Probably because there's just so much going on. But let's pop this bad boy this way. Let's see what we got in here. So it looks like there's 3 things on the inside. So firstly, we have the Final Fantasy 15 Ultimate Collector's Edition Steelbook. This is the one with the game in it. Yeah. Is it? No, this is not. Oh, this is Kingsglaive. Okay, so that's the DVD film of... I think it was the precursor, right up to where it starts in the actual main game, which is always a really weird way of doing it. Then we also have this is the game itself. Another steelbook with is this the game? No, it's Brotherhood. Wait a minute. Oh, hang on. What do we have here? So we got a special soundtrack. We got Brotherhood, which is, I believe, was an animated version. Maybe Brotherhood was the one before it. Kingsglaive was a different one. I don't remember. So if that's the case, yes, the game is in here as well. So that explains it. That makes all the sense. And then looks like in typical Ultimate Collector's Edition fashion, we have a Final Fantasy 15, very stylish, just XV in blue, the art of Final Fantasy 15 in a nice big hardback collector's edition. What does this one say? The art of Final Fantasy 15. It's the same logo as on the back of the box, but the one on the back of the box at least says... Oh, wait a minute. The one on the back of the box at least says Ultimate Collector's Edition. So which was which? So that's the special soundtrack and the other one. And then this was the game itself. So we will set those aside over there for the moment. So this includes one other thing, which hopefully I can get easy access to without opening it in a really stupid and weird way. But it is the Final Fantasy 15 Play Arts Kai Noctis Ultimate Collector's Edition version. So there is a regular Noctis available as well, but it's not the same Noctis as this one. We have the big boy version. Oh, something in here. Screws and stuff. Okay, I'm trying to keep it all together so it doesn't like fall apart. So we got Noctis with some of his weapons. I'm really just holding this here for the camera. With some of his weapons, his different hands for it and all as well. But then on the back we have... Oh, that's actually held in. Okay. It's not as bad. Okay. You know, it's weird. They released this collector's edition directly from the Square Enix store. And it sold, I think there was only something like 30,000 pieces per platform, I think it was. And then they sold out practically instantly. And then they came back and did another I think it was 10,000 or something. But I'm going to attempt to put this back off camera because it is a bit of a big awkward one. And then we'll see what else is next. Another day, well, technically it's actually the same day. I've recorded lots of these existing specific editions, but another disappointing edition. A limited edition from Square Enix. So yeah, I've already recorded maybe 3 or 4 other of these limited edition, deluxe edition in this type, way, shape, and form. In fact, I think I did all of them except the Final Fantasy VII Remake one today. But I've definitely done pretty much all the Kingdom Hearts ones at some point today. But yeah, again, another disappointment. The HD 1.5 and 2.5 remix, at least they had the decency to roll them all into one when they re-released the re-release on PS4. Technically, it's not a re-release of a re-release. It's just a re-release, because I always like to point this out, especially for those Nintendo and Nintendo Switch dent-headed, brain-dead babies, is that when they say, oh, the Switch should be able to run Kingdom Hearts as a PS2 game. Yes, but the ones that were ported over are not PS2 games. They're PS3 remasters with higher resolution, higher quality assets, and one of the most important things, MSAA. I believe it's even 8 times MSAA. It might be 4, but even if it was only 2, it's still MSAA, which is still pretty advanced. So no, it's technically not, this is not a re-release of a re-release. It's just a re-release of the PS3 stuff. So again, big disappointment, just like the other one. We have a pin in the back for the 1.5 and 2.5. And then on the inside, it's just a game. Or the games. I think it totals 6 games. Yeah, 6 beloved things, so it's basically 3 and 3, and that's it. I'm not even going to harp on about this. You know how I feel about the series. You know how, or maybe you do, maybe you don't, maybe depending on how it gets edited. But you also know how I feel about these limited or collectors or deluxe, limited or deluxe editions on the more modern Square Enix stuff. Well, the saga continues, or not, or we don't know, because this is all out of order in different days and different times and all. And it'll be edited for your viewing pleasure and convenience. But despite what I may or may not have said already, or may or may not say later in this video, depending on when you have and haven't watched it and whatnot too, we have Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. Limited edition. Not too far off the current deluxe editions of the Square Enix fare. But I guess a limited is less than deluxe. So it comes with a 2.8 HD pin on the inside. And probably nothing else of... Oh, it opens sideways. Probably nothing else of major import. It looks like not. It looks like it's just a game. It is. So it's... Yeah. Not sure how limited that limited edition should qualify as. You get your 2.8 prologue, which is something that came out a little bit before Kingdom Hearts 3, just to kind of bridge the gap and set the scene for all of that, introduce some characters or clear up some characters or something along those lines. I don't know, I haven't got around to it yet. We've explained that a million times already. But yeah, that's a bit disappointing, but hey, that's Kingdom Hearts in a nutshell. I don't know what it is with Square Enix, but lately their collector's editions or deluxe editions or whatever it is have just been really disappointing. Kingdom Hearts 3 is a great example of that. Just like Final Fantasy VII Remake, the standard deluxe edition, not like the Soldier First Class edition or anything like that, because it just basically included the deluxe edition, which I guess this is K, so if I do this in alphabetical order, you will have already seen that and you would have heard my complaints and problems with it. But it's basically just this weird feeling textured box, just like the other one was. In fact, it's actually right here beside me, so let me still grab this. So see, same kind of thing. And yeah, that's it. So we'll pop up. This is the Kingdom Hearts 3 version. I did eventually, the Kingdom Hearts games all did come to Steam just a few weeks ago. They broke free of their terrible home on the, we won't even call it home, let's call it prison on the Epic Game Store. Is there? No, there's nothing else in there. So they finally, oh no, there is. So they finally broke free of all of that. So I have them on there, so I can play them in their best proper form, because I never properly got around to it. So we have a Kingdom Hearts 3 pin. Well, it was not a badge or a pendant or anything like that. We have the fairly bog standard. The inside art is kind of cool, but the outside you just have your usual little Kingdom Hearts icons on all sides, as well as a logo down in the corner. Here we have what look like some stickers. Kingdom of that's not good. Kingdom of Corona. That's some dodgy stuff. So it looks like a bunch of stickers. I will not open these because we know how getting stuff back into these is an absolute nightmare from multiple different things in this video. We have an art book. You know what, I'm going to close my eyes as I flip through this, because I do intend to play the Kingdom Hearts series. I've played Kingdom Hearts 1. I can complete Kingdom Hearts. Whoops. I can complete Kingdom Hearts 1. I've done it 100% on the PS2. And I can even beat, well, I could even beat Sephiroth without getting hit. So that was pretty baller within itself. And then this is just Kingdom Hearts 3. We have all the usual shite. You can register your membership and nobody cares about all of that, because I don't know any of the characters and all that. The year before this came out, I sat down with the intent to spend all year playing the Kingdom Hearts games in story and lore order. I got so annoyed and frustrated with finishing Kingdom Hearts 1 again, because the final boss segments and sections and stuff are so absolutely egregiously awful that I eventually just took a month break after finishing the first one again. Oh, why did I leave the box out? And yeah, then I moved on to the next game in the series, which was basically a PSP card game. And after like 2 or 3 hours, that game was so awful, I gave up on the entire series. No, not so much actually. I gave up on playing that, and I told myself I was just going to play Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. And then I tried to play Kingdom Hearts 2, and I got a few hours in, and I remember why every single time I tried to play Kingdom Hearts 2, I only make it a few hours in before giving up. This will probably be a nice popular one. I don't know why, because I mean, it's a shite game and it deserves no praise whatsoever, but people be wild when it comes to this kind of stuff. But anyway, we have the collector's edition of MGS5, The Phantom Pain on PS4. Now this actually usually comes with a Diamond Dogs magnet that just sticks on the front here somewhere. I do have it somewhere. I could not find it for this portion of the video. And believe me, I looked for several minutes because of where I knew I had it last, or where I thought I had it last. And, well, it's just kind of disappeared from there. But that was then, and this is now, where we're here to open up and unbox and check out this collector's edition. Not even an especially good one, which ties in with, you know, how kind of shitty and all the game is. But on the inside here, we have two things. We have the MGS5 even, Phantom Pain. Oh, there's something else in here. So we have, it's a Blu-ray. It doesn't really tell us what's on. Oh, wait a second. It is the collector's disc MGS5 The Phantom Pain. It's a Blu-ray disc. It doesn't tell you what's on there or anything like that. But then we have a double-sided map by the looks of this. This looks like it's going to be huge. Yeah. So we've got one for the Angola-Zaire border region. And then we have Afghanistan on the far side. Of course, that can all suck a dick and die because the game is trash and we do not stand any of that shite. So that has all of that in there. Yeah, V has come to eat my ass. And then we have the game itself. So, you know, that's, we won't worry about that. Kojima fell off hard. I mean, you make a masterpiece like MGS3 and then you make MGS4, which is one of the worst games ever. And then you think you can't get any worse and then makes MGS5. And then on the inside here, we have the collector's edition, which came with our replica hand, our small, everyone pre-launch expected this to be full size, which would have been much cooler, but no, this just came with a booty little collector's edition. It's what's the word I'm looking for? No surprise that Kojima would let us all down with all of that. So we will give the flying rocket punch the finger for Kojima, and MGS5 the Phantom Pain. So, you know, they say V has come too. Well, guess what? V, fuck you. Now, this is a wild one. This is something I wanted to try because I was such a big fan of the previous series of games on a previous generation or two of hardware. But we have the Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 Collector's Edition. I have no other Ultimate Ninja Storm games. I have I have 2 of the 4 Clash of the Ninja games on the GameCube imported from Japan, but those were cool and those were fun. From what I understand though, this is more of a traditional fighter, so this probably ain't it, Chief, but I mean, I'll never know because, or so far I don't know. I may never know. I probably will know eventually. But I've had this for all these years and I've never even played it. Booyah. Da doo doo doo. But we got a cool art book. Let's see if we can get some beast mode Naruto art in here. We got Tamari, who we've met in real life. Tamari's also great. We've got Hinata, whatever. Ino, 1010. Oh, this is like Ultimate Ninja Storm stuff from like multiple ones, because there was a 2 there as well. We got a shitty modern Sasuke who should have been killed by Itachi because Itachi was just so much better in every way. And Sasuke started kind of cool up until he went missing in original Naruto. Like 130 odd episodes in, and then it just got kind of stupid, even though there was a lot of filler. But basically, yeah, it ended there. But yeah, so that's some of this. But basically what they did to Sasuke is they basically ruined him. There were so many better characters, especially Itachi. We have a cool like metal plaque with a shitty character on it. It's also part of all how shitty it all became is that he basically like absorbed the cursed seal thing, and he basically, I won't say became Orochimaru, but you get the idea. Let's see what else we got in here. We have a steel book with, I don't even remember what the name of that is. It's like Sage Mode, Nine Tails, Ultimate Naruto. I can't even remember. And then you have fake ass wanker on the back. We have the box itself. I don't even recognize the 2 dudes in the back. It doesn't look like Kaguya. It doesn't look like anyone else that I recognize. It doesn't look like Obito or any of the stuff that we know. Maybe it's probably its own original story. I don't know if it factors in the show or anything like that as well, because it does say Shippuden, so I don't know. But then we have the Naruto figurine, Shinobi Relations, the last version. So this is when they started kind of fucking with Naruto's design, and he was really stupid looking. But like, you've got retarded Sasuke, you've got original Naruto, you've got Minato, which is his father, and then you've got badass beast mode Itachi. So now, I used to have this open years ago, and don't tell anybody, right lads, but I actually mistakenly broke this while trying to put it together out of frustration. You won't see it, I'm not going to show it because it's on the base, but you've got the terrible design of modern Naruto. I hate his outfit. It's just, yeah, I just don't like it. But basically, I was putting it onto the stand that you can see there, and I was forcing to get on there because of like the holes in his feet and all that. And then eventually, it just like slipped and cracked the plastic. And I don't know. I was more annoyed at, you know, when you're like really forcing something and it's really, really frustrating and you're getting super, super angry, like to put all that effort into it. I was more angry at that part of it that I was at the fact that I broke and cracked it. But you know, that was then. This is now. That's the edition, and let's move on. Now this one is a modern classic, and we're not talking shitty near modern classic. We're talking actual real modern classic as I adjust the camera while we do it. But that's just so you'll never see it coming, because it is the Persona 5 Take Your Heart Premium Edition. Now this one, actually, spoiler, I'm going to have to slice it in at some point here, if I remember, because I have a lot of stuff to look through and listen through and rewatch and take pictures of to put in here as we do. But this comes with one of the slickest and most stylish steelbooks ever, which I will attempt to show off, but I do have it in a frame elsewhere that I cannot get access to easy for the purposes of this video. So we have the Take Your Heart Premium Edition. We've got a nice big cool box with a bunch of our main characters. And then on the back, also a bunch of our main characters. I do want to meet a bunch of them and get them to sign this box, which would be real cool. Please do not sneeze right now, because it might be okay, because I get them to sign that box, which would be really, really cool. Now, let's open this bad boy up. So we have, ooh, it's falling out, not good. We have the Sounds of Rebellion Persona 5. Oh, I thought there was something else at the bottom. 19 tracks. It's pretty strong for what we have. We have a Persona 5 art book, The Aesthetics. Obviously, as the modern kids would use the word incorrectly. Persona 5 is very aesthetic. It doesn't work that way. You don't use that word correctly like that. But yeah, it is highly stylized game, and the aesthetic of the game and the aesthetics in the game are fantastic. To quote our Frank West, fantastic. We got our own little Mona, our own little Morgana, as we know and love. And then we have a Shujin bag. Let's pop this bad boy open. I'm unsealing so many sealed things in this video, or these videos, for all of you. So we have a Shujin bag. Take that, Fallout 76. But that right there, boyos and girlos, is the, I was going to say Final Fantasy V, Persona 5 Take Your Heart Edition. Take Your Heart Premium Edition for the PS4. I do have a standard vanilla copy of the game, which I bought a couple of months ago because I thought I might have to, when I was putting it in a frame, I thought the steelbook might not fit. Luckily it did, so the other one is just sitting there in the collection. But that is it. Hopefully I do get to meet all the characters and get them, especially Erica Harlacher. She is Bae in real life. And yeah, so many other characters. And Matthew Mercer as well, actually, since we just talked about him. Probably not in this video, but in another one that we mentioned just a moment ago, which was the Overwatch Collector's Edition, which hopefully you've already seen in this series, because it's not in this video because it was on PC. But yeah, we mentioned him, and for good reason. But anyway, that is it. Persona 5 Take Your Heart Premium Edition. For now. So this is another one that I'd actually almost consider not doing a video in, or not including in, because this one already has its own separate video as well. I did it as a test before, using this exact camera, mind you, just to see how it would go if I did them. I moved the camera earlier because I took it out with me to wear on the bike, and now I can't get it lined up exactly like I wanted it. It's close enough, but we have the Persona 5 Royal Phantom Thieves Edition. Not to be confused with the Take Your Heart Premium Edition of original vanilla Persona 5. But anyway, we have a nice big fancy collector's box. Of course, the second I start recording, I want to try sneeze, which we will at least fight off for this one. Yeah, for the purposes of this one, I don't have this box around because it is in a frame, which I will hopefully remember to splice in here. But I tell myself that, and I will try, but there's a lot of recordings to go through, and a lot of stuff. We got the Persona 5 Royal, the soundtrack. which we have on here, which came with 10 different tracks, including, does it have them on? You've got Throw Away Your Mask, which is what everyone loves. What was the other one? Oh, Kichijoji 1990X is pretty slick. They don't have... Oh, Gentle Madman is a pretty baller tune, I will say. But anyway, yeah, I will hopefully remember to get that in there. And then we have the Persona 5 Royal art book. There's also something else under it here too. But we have the art book, which has all the new Personas, including the rank 3 Personas for everybody. And of course, well, I mean, we got shitty, smelly Makoto Nijima. I mean, imagine not even being the best Nijima sister. Crazy, right? Because we all know that Sai is bae. We got Akechi, we got Kasumi, and Cendrillon. Other cool different designs and whatnot. Storm in shambles right now because of the character. But yeah, pretty funky. We'll leave that aside as we go in here and get hopefully everything we want out of all of this. Let's get that back down flat. And then we get this bad boy open. Because in here we have a stand with like a little bit of backing and stuff as well. I don't know what that one's supposed to be, but we have the Phantom Thieves mask. Not just the Phantom Thieves mask, Joker's mask specifically. So, you know, you can, it's not really wearable, but it has mounting things to sit onto the stand. So you could be all big baller and just put this everywhere and all. But that is the Phantom Thieves Persona 5 Royal Edition. Because, well, with how amazing this game is, everyone should play it. You should never play it on Switch. The Switch version is actually worse than the original PS4 version of Royal. So yeah, never play that. But either way, you'd never see it coming. And in typical terrible name and fashion, we're going to go on to Star Ocean Fatalist, or well, let's try that again. Star Ocean Integrity and Fatalistness Collector's Edition. Now, I only managed to secure this from the Square Enix European store because there seemingly wasn't anywhere else to get it. Kind of a... Oh. Nice little slip off there. Kind of a... almost a moot point or a pointless one. Star Ocean hasn't been good for a while, unfortunately, ever since pretty much the PS2. And yeah, this didn't really break the cycle, from the little bit I played of it at least anyway. So we got some art on the front. Strange enough, I always thought that looks like Vincent from Final Fantasy VII. Nothing on the back. Let's pop this bad boy open. The Art of Star Ocean. That's what we will... Oh, it opens that way. Okay. So, again, we're not going to go crazy with the likes of this. It's just an art book. There's... You know, maybe one day I'll go through... I'll do another stream similar to this. And I'll go through all the different art books. Either the ones that I've bought separately or the ones that have come with games. And then we have the steel case itself. There's actually no basic version of the one that comes with this. Has codes and all as well. I'm not going to get into all that stuff there. But there's no original blue PS4 case that comes with this. What else we got here? There's a Pan-Galactic Federation ID card. Hopefully that ID number doesn't actually make anything to me. I'm going to assume it's just basically the reference to what it is in game, and chances are it probably also just means this was the 1192nd one ever produced. And then of course we've got some art cards. Now I'm gonna go against my better judgment here and open these fresh live on camera here for the first time ever. So let's see. What do we got here? We got Fidel, not Videl. We got Mickey. Just the art in some of these characters just ain't it anymore. We got Victor, Fior, She got the art going on though. We got Anne. I gotta read this sideways here. We got Emerson. Ooh, okay, I always know Emerson as a woman's name. Relia. And Welsh. Yeah, just the art in this particular game just does not do it for me. I'm just gonna put these back in the little pouch off screen here. Rest assured, I'm not doing anything sus with one of those characters' cards, because she got that art style that we love. But yeah, it's a shame that Star Ocean has fallen so far. I think there's actually a new Star Ocean game out that I just haven't bought or played. I don't think I bought it just because it's been so disappointing. But that's the Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness Collector's Edition. PS4, I believe it was exclusive to the Square Enix store here in Europe. At least in Ireland anyway. But yeah, that's one more out of the list. Finally, a more substantial one that is probably not going to make any more sense, because I'm just doing it as a review after the last few I've just recorded, which have been very unsubstantial. But we have the PS4 Tales of Berseria Collector's Edition. Take that, Square Enix. It's a collector's edition. It's substantial. It has stuff in it. It's not a limited edition that just has a pin. It's not a deluxe edition which has those shitty same boxes and maybe an art book with the pin. But it's a collector's edition. Like, look at all that. There's loads of stuff in there. It probably has all of the above. It probably has a pin and an art book and a steel book. I don't know. We'll find out. Tales of Berseria. Still haven't played the game. People say it was good, but I think it's one of those ones where Zestiria, the previous game to this, was pretty damn poor. Every time I've tried to play it, I've given up after a couple of hours, usually around the same spot, because the combat's bad, the story is bad, the characters, from what I can see, is bad, etc. So I think as a bit of a, it's probably slightly better than that, and that's kind of where people go off the top and overboard with it. But it has Velvet as the main character. Apparently it's kind of only a single solo character thing instead of like a big party, but she is kind of a waifu, so you know, we'll wait and see how that one goes. Oh, this is funky. We have whatever this is. They're little coins, or are they? You know what? Oh, it's sealed. It's still fully sealed. There's a thing on it there. I'm not gonna. Oh, it's actually on both sides. I'm not gonna break it open just for this in here, because you can get a good look at it as it is. And so it looks like they're either coins of different characters. Maybe it's not just Velvet as the main character as a single solo thing. Maybe you have a party, or maybe they're just other characters that are included somewhere primary in the story. But they're either coins or badges or pins or whatever it is. Coins would be the coolest ones to me, because that would make more sense in the collectible side of it. Not just because, oh, collectible coins, but it's just better. So we got a nice, oh, there's two things here. We got a starter guide. It's probably just giving you a rundown on the battle system, the combat, etc. Some of the characters, some of the different skills and abilities and all. I'm not going to go into that because, of course, I do hopefully plan on playing this game. I have it on PC as well, since it released all those years later. Wait a second. Is it her? I think I recognize her from like fan art and a million different places on the internet. Could be. But that's a little bit of the art book. We've also got a steel book. Actually, yeah, we did have a normal version of the game. And a wait, what's in this? Oh, this is a soundtrack. So I have the soundtrack in the steel book. I guess he's probably the little mascot character. I do kind of prefer, is it Tipo? I think it's Tipo. From Tales of Xillia. Not just because he shares the name with Tipo from Breath of Fire 3, but just the character, and he's always funny. And hey, he always goes that fake, is it either Matthew Mercer or Troy Baker, where he's like, you want to fight? Come at me, bro. And then we have two Chibi Kyunkara figure set, which is still fully sealed. So like a bad host and a bad video producer, a bad YouTuber, bad streamer, bad whatever it is, I'm not going to open this. Because these are the same kind of chibi figures and all as well as the ones that came with the Tales of Symphonia PS3 edition, and I think one other edition that I can't remember off the top of my head. But the more important thing is those are a nightmare. They fall apart and they're very, very easy to lose track of. So I'm taking the dub on this one. I actually forgot this one had a collector's edition, but yet here we are. In my mind, I could have seen the box, but then I just forgotten about it, and then I just saw it out of the corner of my eye, stuffed in the other bit of the room. But we have the Tales of Zestiria collector's edition. Unfortunately, the game turned out to be shite, which is big disappointment energy. But we have Tales of Zestiria, bonus content, etc., not to be sold separately. That's just the standard game that comes with it. And then we have the Steelbook, which includes, a bunch of stuff. Dawn of the Shepherd for Zestiria Blu-ray, and the original music selection for also Tales of Zestiria. Funny enough, they don't have any space for the game in there. It's just for all the other stuff. I don't know this character because I haven't played the game enough to figure out who it is or what it is. Don't particularly care. Oh no, I've already committed. It also doesn't feel as tight as the rest of them. So we have a nice big cloth. I do like something like this. It's a big cloth cathedral kind of thing. Temple, church, whatever it is. I'm not sure. I don't think it's the one from the town at the start. I don't think it's the one you start off in, which is the big crazy thing. It's sad because every time I try to play this game, I'm like, right, I'm gonna give it a shot, and then I keep getting to the same part, and it's just like, hey, you know, this is actually so bad, I can't play this anymore. Which is, depending on what way you want to look at it, a shame or not. And then we have the art of Tales of Zestiria. Don't know half of these characters. I know him. I know him. I think I know her. I don't remember. It's been a while. Alicia. I just saw a name there. Soray. Don't remember any of these. Oh well. And then we have some. So these are actually on display. These are like the other game I mentioned as well. They're so small and awkward and fiddly. I just left them where they are, because I would have had a fucking brain aneurysm trying to just transport them, even just from room to room, and get them back in a working order and keep them together just so they don't fall apart and make me lose my mind. But that's the PS4 Tales of Zestiria Collector's Edition. Yeah, shame about the game. Also, I really hope that the guy who started mowing his lawn down the road doesn't show up in this video. I don't think you'll be able to hear it, but either way, I don't know what it is about PlayStation, PS3 and PS4 and like Duke Nukem Forever and games that have had, you know, hideously long development cycles that just turn out to be disappointments and all. But that is another one of these guys. The Last Guardian Collector's Edition. It's got a big fancy edition, as you would expect. And unfortunately, it is a big disappointment, like you would expect. So let's get this out. Oh, it's one of these. I hate these boxes where the side parts here are tied to this, because it makes it so difficult to open half the time. It's definitely a Sony thing, because The Last of Us Part 2 had that box as well. Have you watched the PS4 part of this video? Maybe the PS3 and PS4 will be in the same part, so maybe you won't have seen that yet. Uh-oh. It doesn't matter. But we have The Last Guardian. This is the big fancy collector's edition of the game. Oh, now they open like this. So we've got some lovely art. Of course, Trico is the big cat, bird, dog thing that your main character has. We have the art of The Last Guardian. This is bound to be good. The environments are pretty decent. Trico's art is kind of nice. Some storyboards and stuff. Thought it would be better, but you know, it's very, what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Analogous of the game, because you know that's just very disappointing as well, and we thought it'd be better. So we have the game case, which is a steelbook of at least the front art, which is actually cool, because when you look at it on the front, it looks like he's running towards it, like to a boy and his thing. But then you look at the back, and it's like they're either chasing him, or they were running to kill Trico, and the kid is running towards it too. And then you have your art disc too. And I mean, I already have my soundtrack code redeemed anyway, so that doesn't matter. Let's put that together just off to the side for a second. Now this is, I remember being a big awkward bitch, so I will try. Yeah, we're probably just gonna leave it in the thing for it here. So we have a nice big diorama statue thingy of Trico. There is a little main character boy up here, but he looks asleep or tired or whatever it is. His feet are always really weird looking. It's just a weird designed character overall, because you've got all different types of like bodily movements and all different parts from different types of animals that don't kind of go together to just become this big mythical beast. But that is a big disappointment. That is The Last Guardian. Originally, originally announced for PS3, delayed and disappointed. Even the box is disappointing. All on PS4. Now, for one of the other most depressing and biggest regret ones I've ever had. I've mentioned some of them in this video so far. I think I've only recorded maybe one or two of them, but there's still some others to go. This one, on the other hand, is special, but not in the good way. So we have The Last of Us Part 2 Collector's Edition. I kind of just want to get through this as quick as possible because it's as disappointing as possible. Now, I don't know where the game is for this one. It's randomly thrown in somewhere else out of just sheer disappointment. So there is a steel book that comes with it. It has art for both awful, poorly designed characters on it. I can't find it. Rather, I didn't really look too much once I saw that it wasn't there. I wasn't hugely pushed for it because fuck this game and everything about it. Of course, I pre-ordered and bought this big, fancy, massive collector's edition first thing that morning, before anyone knew how poorly done the game and all it was. I still remember walking down and getting it, and leaving, and about halfway on the way home it started raining a little bit. So yeah, so this is going to be a weird one with the size. Oh my god, this isn't even going to work. Okay, I'm going to have to take this out off camera here because this is just too big. The way the box opens in typical Sony fashion is just poorly designed. Oh my god, this is so bad. I'm basically going to have to do this a completely different way. I'm basically going to have to dump it out upside down. Because again, the box doesn't open normally. It's one of the ones where like, the sides are connected to the flaps and the other sides and all the everything. It's poorly made in typical Sony fashion. But anyway, it has all of this. So basically you're supposed to be able to grab this and pull it. Well, you can't even see them. I can't adjust the camera because I literally don't have the space to do it. But these here, these handles, you're supposed to be able to just pull them up and out, but it doesn't work. Because why would a Sony anything work, am I right? Now, how the fuck does this open? Again, typically poorly designed. Slides up and out. Oh my fucking god, why is this box so bad? So, on the top, you know what, this will probably lift out. It does. So, that's where the steelbook was, we won't worry about that. But we have the art of The Last of Us Part 2. Let's see if we can at least get some of this going on. A bunch of art under the direction of Cookman and Sarkeesian, and the awful story, awful narrative, awful characters, awful writing, awful everything. It's just so bad. And then we have whatever this is, The Last of Us Part 2. It slides out. Oh my god, how fucking sad and pretentious is this? It's like a single cell kind of thing. I'm going to read this out loud off camera because it's just so awkward to sit here and do this. What would you do if something... No, you know what? Oh, fuck, you know, what would you do if someone you loved was the victim of a cruel and violent act? How easily could one's mind tip towards violent retribution? How far would you go to bring people responsible to justice? If you were successful, how would it change you? Would you ever be the same? With The Last of Us Part 2, we set out to create an experience that explores these difficult questions, the darkest sides of human nature, and the vicious cycles of violence that we witness in the world around us on a daily basis. The result is a game crafted by hundreds of developers that push themselves to create something more than mere entertainment, a game that we're incredibly proud of and that we hope will enthrall you and challenge your own views of justice and empathy. On behalf of everyone at Naughty Dog, we want to thank you for embarking on this journey with us. Neil Druckmann, director of The Last of Us Part 2. And that is a great example of why, if you listen to what was said in there, it's one of the most poorly made and poorly designed and poorly story told narrative and poor characters and character development ever made. If you played the game, you know. But it's just straight up fucking retarded. There seems to be nothing else in here. In the bit we already opened, so I'll put the two of those back in there. Oh god, there's more up here. See, I because of the space and this layout of the stupid box and all, I can't even take it down and put it anywhere. I don't have the space for this shit because of all the... You can't see them here, but dozens, if not hundreds, of all like this crazy shit around me for all the collector's editions. And most of it's still here in this same room. But we have some Last of Us and Naughty Dog stuff. We got some stickers and transfers. We have the band, the little wristband. I don't know if it's Dina's, I don't know if it's Ellie's. It's highly irrelevant because no one gives a shit about this game. No one truly gives a shit about this game. Everyone just likes to blow it because, as we've all known and as the media has admitted after the fact, that it, yeah, they only just scored it as they did because they were afraid of getting cut off by Sony, which is, you know, cook stuff as it is. And then you've got a bunch of pins and all in there as well. You've got like the Wolf one, you've got the Fireflies, you got Naughty Dog, Last of Us Part 2. Not 100% sure what the Butterfly one is specifically, and then the Switchblade. We're not talking Jay White, because he could actually cut a better promo than anything in this fucking story. Now, let's see how we're going to figure out how this one works. Can I just turn it around? I seemingly can. No, I can't because it doesn't have just a front. I'm going to have to stand up and do this. I'm going to have to put this on the chair I was sitting on. It's just going to be that big and awkward. I did have a feeling that if anything, of course it would be this piece of shit edition that would cause recording problems because of the size of it. I wish I never bought this. I wish I never bought the game, let alone this. Oh my fucking god. This just reiterates how much I hate everything to do with this game. Give me a second, I'm going to get this out off camera and put it out in front. You know what, I'm just going to leave it in its base because it's going to be so much of an effort to try to get it back in. But there we have Ellie with her new terrible design, with her new terrible story and a new terrible gimmick. But yeah, don't buy this edition, anybody. I don't think anyone is truly happy with this edition. It's just awful, it's just a waste of money, and it's, for lack of a better term, a monument to all my sins. I guess I fucking deserve it, don't I? Then again, do I really deserve it? For buying a sequel to a game I really enjoyed? Fuck me for expecting them to, you know, be able to continue on and make something good. But hey, post Crash Bandicoot 3, there's a reason why they only made one fucking good game. Next, a really weird one probably no one would ever expect me to have, but I will explain the situation behind it during the process of the unboxing. But we have the older 18.86 FPS. I mean, the older 1886 Blackwater Edition. So, this is a game that many people know, many people don't like. It's an okay game, mind you, but I had no interest in it first. I picked it up one day out of sheer boredom because I was in work. I was managing GameStop at the time, and we got this was several months, if not a year or so after, I don't remember the exact time, but it was months/years after it had previously launched. And then we just got a price update on the thing, like here's some old stuff, old collector's editions and whatnot, old games that have just been marked down. This had 50% off. I think originally it was €100. The retail was going for like 50 at the time, but you know, staff discount and all as well. So I was like, yeah, you know what, I might as well. Which way does this open? I don't even know. Ah, there we go. It's just whatever way I was doing it. Did a horrible job at it. So we have the ever loved silica pack. You know, I'm going to throw that out. Just so people don't try and watch this video and be like, oh my god, I must eat it. So we got the game. Bog standard, boring stuff. We don't need to know anything about that. You know what, I'm struggling to get this out, so I'm not going to bother. It's one of the pendants with the Blackwater that they keep taking and keep using to like keep themselves alive and not turning into werewolves and lichens and all that shite. This, no, you know what? We've had this before. It's a letter of some sort. We've had problems with these before. Or maybe we haven't, depending on where I edit this into the video. Maybe we'll have these problems with this later. I will not open this because it's going to be an absolute nightmare to get this back in because of all the still fresh sticky stuff on it. So I'm sorry, all 7 fans of you out there of this game who wanted to see the collector's edition in its full detail and glory. This, then we also have Virtuous Sola Nobilatus, whatever it is, which is obviously, this is the crest of, is it the crest of the Order? The crest of the royal family, the crest of something, the crest of whatever it is in there. It's funny because now that I think about it, you could almost argue, from what I remember, it's been a while since I played the game, you could almost argue that at the end of the game they tease the sequel. Now, Ready at Dawn is fucked at this point. Ready at Dawn have been, I think they're bought by, I think it's Facebook now, and they're working on VR games instead. Previously and prior to working at this, I'm pretty sure all they ever made was, I think it was PSP games, maybe mobile games, but this is pretty much their first, off the top of my head, I think this is their first console game. And, well, it didn't go over too well. And back to the basic bitch stuff. Until Dawn. collector's edition. Stupidly priced, mind you. I think this was like €80. I think the actual basic game itself was 75, which was kind of unreal at the time, especially because it's just a steelbook essentially. There's a code. I've already redeemed the code, so have at it if you want. This is all these years later, but that's basically it. It comes with a code and a steelbook, and that's it. And I remember paying big money for this day one, and then someone else, there was a big sale a couple of weeks later, and someone else was telling me, it's like, oh hey, if you see any good deals or anything, just hit me up and I'll get one. And then this turned out to be like €35 or something 3 weeks after launch, and I was like, you fuckers. So yeah, that was not worth it at all. Looking forward to the remake on PC though. This one's such a questionable choice to include because, well, I've always mentioned about just sleeves with regular ones, but this technically comes with a mini art book. So we have the Valkyria Chronicles Remastered Europa Edition. Yeah, Valkyria Chronicles is a great PS3 game, eventually ported to PC, and then, you know, everything else, but, well, at least PS4. But yeah, so we have all this here, and then we have a small little art book in there too. So it's a great game. I like the, ooh, hello Selvaria. It's yeah, she's what's up. But it's a good game. I love the aesthetic of it as well, and great characters, great gameplay, good story, and a couple of little cameos from old Sega franchises.